Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with momentum. We have done in this chapter number 9 force and laws of motion. We have completed force, effects of force, two types of force. We have also seen Newton's first law of motion, inertia, practical examples with animated versions. We have also studied the in-text questions in detail, which were very important. Now, directly the heading given is Newton's second law of motion. But till the end, the topic of Newton's second law of motion does not come. So, we will start with the first topic which is related to it, that is momentum. We will also see its beautiful animated version, right? So first we will study momentum in detail, and from there we will come to the Newton's second law of motion, right? So let us start. What do we mean by momentum? Now, we would now like to study how the acceleration of an object depends on the force applied to it and how we measure a force. So what we should know is that we know this much, that if we give more force, acceleration would be more. Suppose you are rolling a ball or marble on the floor. You all know, even a small child knows that if we give more force, acceleration will be more. Right? So now let us study how acceleration depends on force and how can we measure this force. So let us recount some observations from our day-to-day life. Now you will ask me that, Madam, we have started with momentum, but gradually we will come to it, see how the relation between what we are doing from your day-to-day life. Just to see how this will be done. See, during the game of table tennis, if the ball hits the player, it does not hurt him. See, we know that when table tennis would be played, the table tennis ball is quite small in size and it is not a season ball sort of. So, even if it will hit the player will not get hurt. On the other hand, when a fast moving cricket ball hits a spectator, it may hurt him. Right? What we must know that game sport is there, but table tennis, then the ball does not hurt much, but cricket ball, even when it hits a spectator, it may hurt the spectator. So this is something that you should know. Say for that example, we can take another example related to this. That is, suppose two of you are playing catch a ball. By chance, if a small, that smiley ball or such is being thrown and its speed is also say 10 km per hour, the person won't get hurt much. But if same season ball is there and if you miss it or something like that, if it hits you, you will really get hurt. Speed was same. Say for example, you can take whatever 10 kilometer per hour, 20 kilometer per hour, whatever. But mass of both the balls was different. So the effect was different. Another example, practical example is given, that is a truck. See, a truck at rest does not require any attention when parked along a roadside. Suppose you are going on your bicycle and a truck is standing fully loaded, heavy truck is simply standing on the road. You will not get afraid, you will not even pay much attention to it because it is parked along the roadside. Its velocity is 0. But same truck, when it starts moving, even at a very low speed of say 5 meter per second, then also it can kill a person standing in its path. Right? Same truck. So mass was same. It was fully loaded. But when it was at rest, it does not require any attention. You will also ignore it and go away. But the same truck, when it starts moving, and believe me, it is moving very slowly at the speed of say 5 meter per second, even then the person coming in its path will get killed. Another example is a small mass such as a bullet may kill a person when fired from a gun. What does this mean? See, suppose I have a bullet in my hand and just say with the help of my hand I am putting it in the wall, right? I am striking it to the wall. What will happen? You all know it will strike the wall and it will fall down. Nothing will happen to the wall. But if same bullet, mass of the bullet is same, if I put it in a gun and fire it in the wall, it might go through the wall, and even if it does not go through the wall, it will definitely create a dent in the wall. So, mass of the bullet was same, but velocity was different. In the previous case, when we studied about catch practice, we saw that velocity was same, say 10 kilometer per hour, 20 kilometer, whatever you want to say. But mass of the ball was different. One was smiley ball, another one was season ball. Then also the impact was different. So, and in this case, even in the case of truck, mass was same, but velocity was different. These observations suggest that the impact produced by the objects depend on their mass and velocity. So these observations say that these impacts, they depend on their mass and velocity. So similarly, if an object is to be accelerated we know that a greater force is required to give a greater velocity. So, if an object is to be accelerated, we know more the force, more would be the velocity, so more would be the acceleration. So, mass and velocity, we saw impact of all these or some connection pertaining to momentum in these mass and velocity. In other words, there appears to exist some quantity of importance, some important quantity, physical quantity is there that combines the object's mass and its velocity. So, some physical quantity is there, some quantity is there in physics which combines mass and velocity of the object. What is that property? Then we must understand one such property called momentum was introduced by Newton. The momentum P of an object is defined as the product of its mass m and velocity v. So, most important even for 11th standard, 12th standard, even for 9th, for physics, this is one of the very, very important physical quantity, that is momentum. Momentum, its symbol is not m, it is small p. It is defined as the product, means multiplication of mass and velocity. Therefore, P is equal to m into V. P is equal to m into V. Momentum has both direction and magnitude. Its value is also there and its direction, it goes in definite direction. In the textbook there is no mention, but what you must know, where direction is mentioned, it is a vector quantity. So, momentum is a vector quantity. Its direction is same as that of velocity v. What is the direction of momentum? It is same as that of velocity v. So, SI unit of momentum is kg meter per second, kilogram meter per second. Now, what you should remember is that if you by chance forget the formula, then by chance if you forget the unit, simply by definition you can go ahead. Kg, mass, SI unit of mass is kg and that of velocity is meter per second. So, SI unit would be kg meter per second. Since the application of an unbalanced force brings a change in the velocity of the object, a force also produces a change in momentum. See, we know that because we are giving unbalanced force. Because of unbalanced force only, there is change in the velocity of the object. So a force also produces a change in the momentum. Let us now see. Let us consider a situation in which a car with a dead battery is to be pushed along a straight road to give it a speed of 1 meter per second, which is sufficient to start its engine. See, to start the engine only 1 meter per second speed is enough. It should just start, and per second it should go only 1 meter, fine. So I am sure you must have seen that people giving a push to a dead battery and all on a straight road. If one or two persons give a sudden push, that is unbalanced force to it, it hardly starts, right? It hardly starts. But a continuous push over some time results in a gradual acceleration of the car to this speed. So, if one or two persons give sudden push, just sudden push, that is unbalanced force to it, it will not start. But if they will continuously keep on pushing for some time, then it will accelerate gradually, and it will result in gradual acceleration of the car to the speed of 1 meter per second. It means that the change of momentum of the car is not only determined by the magnitude of the force, but also by the time during which the force is exerted. What does this mean? See, same two persons were giving push, but just sudden push, once force was given, that was not enough. Change in momentum is not only determined by magnitude of force, but also time. If it was given for some time, then if for some time the force was exerted, then the car moved. This shows the importance of a factor along with the force. Time factor is also very important. So, it may also be concluded that the force necessary to change the momentum of an object depends on the time rate at which the momentum is changed. So it can be concluded. What can be the conclusion? That force which is necessary to change the momentum of an object depends on the time rate. So force also depends on time at which the momentum is changed. We saw best example related to car. So that brings us to the end of the momentum topic. We know product of mass and velocity is momentum. SI unit is kg meter per second. It requires direction. It is a vector quantity, right? And when we have done about momentum, I will simply state The Newton's second law of motion. The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. So what is the statement? If it is a state Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. We will study about the Newton's second law of motion in detail in the next session.